Welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we dive into stories of resilience, transformation, and the power of the human spirit. Our today's guest is Jessie Torres, a peak performer coach and a life strategy with 18 years of experience, helping people turn pain into purpose, power, and the impact. Jessie has guided thousands through her trauma, fear, and limiting belief, teaching a philosophy called Fierce Grace, transforming life darkness moments into strength, clarity, and unstoppable growth. It's really a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, Jessie.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Also, Jessie, what were some of the moments or challenges that shape you into who you have become today?
Oh my goodness, so many to choose from. But I've had challenges in my childhood with my father and then jumped right into a marriage for another 18 years where it was abusive. It was verbally, mentally, emotionally abusive. And then my brothers were both murdered 30 years apart. So
Oh,
there's a number of different situations that I've had to experience that have brought me to a point of being in a place of where I understand and I wouldn't change any of my past. I feel it's just part of this divine plan, and unfortunately for me, there's been some bumps in the road for sure.
ouch, that was a whole lot. Unlike having to lose your brothers out 30 years in between. It's a whole lot. And sorry for the loss. And ouch, a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, what does fierce grace means, and how do you use it to help people transform pain into purpose?
Fierce grace is a statement of basically the human spirit. So
Mm,
we all have masculine, we all have feminine, we all have a part of us that has a mama bear energy, and we also are tender and we're nurturing. And fierce grace is the example of both energies woven within each and every one of us. We all harness the power of both. We just drive from one more so than the other.
mm.
But if you can access both and create a balance, it's a beautiful place to be, knowing that you have your core energy and then you have an energy you can call forward in time of need. And so it's a way to identify who we are as human beings. We are fierce and we are very much love and grace. So it's a way to help us remember that we are that powerful.
A way to help us remember that yes, we are that powerful. That's really amazing. So many people carry trauma without even realizing its impact. What are some of the warning signs that trauma is affecting someone's life today?
It's a great question because oftentimes I work so much with trauma, but oftentimes some of the people I work with, high level executives or entrepreneurs, they don't think they have trauma. And so I can appreciate that. And we just start where limitation begins. So you say, what are the warning signs? Where are you limited today? Why aren't you going for the promotion? Why aren't you going after and starting that business that's been on your heart? Why aren't you having the conversation in your relationship that you know you need to have? Like, where is the limitation today? Let's talk about that. And we'll eventually be able to find a thread to a moment in time that created a story or a meaning or some part of our journey that had us feel fear, that causes contraction, and that's activated in our limitation today.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, we are the fears in our life. Yeah, that was really amazing and a very lovely indices of how to discover trauma. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So, how do you guide people to reconnect with their hearts and reclaim personal power after profound loss or fear?
It's trusting. I honor everybody's faith. I consider myself more spiritual than religious, but if you believe in a higher power, we can understand that everything is in divine order, one way or another, even our pain, right? We don't know light without dark. And so what we do is we help look into what part created limitation. Where were we hurt? Where did we have trauma moments? Where did we have pain? And we heal them. I think part of right now in personal development, it's a lot of tools and resources to move through our limitations. So just change your state of mind, think positively, like all these things, which again are powerful, but it's not enough because we aren't healing the root problem that created limitation to begin with. We're bypassing that to get through, but we're not healing. And so what happens is that part that's unresolved shows up in different ways, right? Like an abusive father that hasn't been dealt with could be in your adult life, could be a boss. It could be a boyfriend. It could be a friend. The essence of the person that hurt you turns up in other people if we don't heal it. So what happens is people go, they get to a certain place and then they get frustrated because they're stuck again. And now they're like, well, I went to the seminar, I read the books, I had therapy. Why am I still stuck again? And that can create a deeper level of shame. That's what we don't want. We need to not just move through our limitations, we need to actually understand where the limitation began, alchemize that pain into power so that it doesn't show up again in our journey.
Understanding is a very lovely way of actually getting to know where the fear and trauma is, so that we can actually get, this just speak volumes to awareness first before we could actually more like being able to decode it and being able to do without it. Really amazing. So what are some common misunderstandings people have about going through difficult circumstances or trauma recovery?
I think part of it is, especially when the pain is so profound, it feels like it's forever. And it feels like there's no way out. Like some people will ask, you're telling me to get through it, but I can't. I physically can't move. I feel paralyzed. I'm scared. There's so many emotions. So one of the misunderstandings is that you are stuck in that void. There is a way out. You just have to want it, right? So oftentimes when people have gone through major, major trauma and they almost don't know how to live without it, they've conditioned themselves to be sad or to be angry or to be, in grief, and they don't know how to move on, right? So they feel stuck in it. As long as there's a desire, as long as there's a light, a little bit of light still in you, there's a way out. And so don't ever think that whatever your situation is, and I've heard a ton of really profound traumatic moments that people have gone through, no matter what you've been through, there is a way out and there is a way to love life again.
No matter how worse and no matter how towards it has get to, there is still hope. I think this is really reassuring, and the fact that it's amazing. So forgiveness can be challenging in the wake of deep pain. What role does forgiveness play in creating an uncheckable life?
Well, it's huge. And I think that the misconception about forgiveness is that it's letting the person that hurt you off the hook, right? It's releasing them from what they did. And it really isn't. It's forgiveness is for you. Because when you live in unforgiveness, it's incongruent with who you are. Who we are is love innately, right? And we're born in love, we're taught to hate. So we can come back to love again, but in those moments where forgiveness is at play, we feel like, no, if I forgive them, then they get away with it, or I think it's okay. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. And honestly, it has nothing to do with the other person. It has to do with you. If you live in unforgiveness, you're drinking poison every day, hoping that the other person dies. And so it does not serve you. It does not serve the situation. It does not serve the other person. It doesn't serve anything. Forgiveness serves nothing except pain in your body. So forgiveness is a gateway to releasing the belief that what happened shouldn't have happened. Because when we say that thing shouldn't have happened and it actually did happen, then we're arguing with the reality. And when you argue with reality, you lose 100% of the time.
When you argue with reality, you lose 100% of the time. And also, it was really amazing when you say more like forgiveness is not, just for the person who actually hurt you, but it's for you. Being that having not to forgive is a whole lot. Being that, you could actually going through a whole lot, having some mental baggages here and there. The fact that you couldn't able to kind of forgive one person. So the forgiveness is more like the good you give to yourself. It's really amazing. So what is the most important lessons you have learned over your career working with high performance people?
What's the biggest lesson? We're all human. Like we're all part of the human race. When you coach people from all over the world, everywhere, like, yes, there's different cultures and there's different belief systems, but ultimately we're all human. And you start to see patterns in human behavior. And so it's like, one of our mottos used to be, to coach anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I think that is definitely a muscle that I've been able to build based on how many people from all walks of life I've coached. The other part is that our high achievers are exhausted. And one of the things that I find oftentimes is that they don't realize that they're chasing their worthiness on their achievement. So it's never enough. They do great things and they have money and they have titles and positions, but in their spirit, it's never enough. And so they go after the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then they're exhausted and they're burnt out because they don't realize it's not about the achievement. It's that they are chasing worthiness in that achievement. And it's never, we're going to give it to them. So it's the cat chasing its tail. Why we have so many burnt out entrepreneurs.
Wow, chasing achievement here and there. Wow, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. So, lastly, what is one thing people need to know that they don't know that they need to know about their potential resilience or path forward?
That every single person has trauma.
Mm,
Oftentimes people think, oh no, I don't have trauma, so I don't need that help. And here's my definition of trauma. Because trauma, people think rape or a blunt trauma like an accident or whatever, which of course, yes, that's true. But I identify trauma as whatever the child made meaning of in the moment of the experience. Meaning, when we're children, we don't realize that we're making meaning out of everything we experience. We're meaning making machines. So what we do is like I'm a little girl who's going to kindergarten for the first time, right? She's had a great mom, great dad, great household. She goes to school, and a kid at school takes her lunchbox and eats her favorite snack that her mom put in there. All of a sudden, vigilance is created. All of a sudden, that child says, why would they do that, right? So the next day, she goes to school holding her lunch bill a little tighter, a little vigilant, looking for that same kid to see if he's coming back around, right? And unsafety begins, right? So now we write a story. Oh, the world isn't safe, right? So now something else happens. Little boy is in the grocery store shopping with his mom. He's playing with toys in the aisle. Mom goes to the end of the aisle to get something. She can see him, but he can't see her. He lifts up his head and screams for his mom, thought that she had left. He was lost. She's right there. It's only seconds. No abuse, nothing bad. But now it anchored in the little boy, I could be left behind. Or I could be abandoned. Right? So now every time mom walks out of the room, he gets anxious. Now when mom leaves the house, he starts to cry. And nobody knows why, because they're not connecting the dots about what happened in the grocery store. Now he's 35 and he can't keep a relationship because he's possessive, controlling, and insecure because he's living with the belief that he could be abandoned.
Wow, amazing. And there's a whole lot to unpack here. Yeah, every single person's have trauma. Ouch, that really hit hard. I'm like, wow. And the stories you just gave just speak volumes to it. That the little fears, even when that thing does not happen in real time, just shows that yes, we all go through one of these one time or the other, and being bullied, going through a whole lot from our friends and everything, those things is also trauma. Yeah, and we actually get to react to it growing up, and it's really a lot. Yeah, amazing. So Jesse, from our audience who would love to reach out to you, connect with you, and reach out to you, connect with you either for coaching sections or to get any of your materials. How can they reach out to you, and where's the best platform?
They can go to fiercegrace.com, and there's multiple ways to get a hold of me there, whether it's for speaking, whether it's for coaching, or whether it's for mastermind in there, or just book a call if you have questions.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, John Toll. Your story just reminds us that even in our darkest moments, the human spirit can rise, reclaim power, and create impact. Through Fierce Grace, we learn that trauma doesn't define us. It can refine us into our strongest, most powerful, purposeful ourselves. Yeah, this has really been amazing. And definitely, for my audience who wants to reach out to Jesse, check the show notes and you'll see the links to reach out to her. Yeah, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure and honor having you on the show. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Aro. I really appreciate it. And I also have a link in your show notes that will offer a gift to your audience. And it's just called the 10-Step Guide to Freedom. And basically, it's no matter what your situation is right now, there are steps you can take right now to get better, no matter what it is. And that guide will help you with that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Definitely, you can share me the link so that I will share with my audience. Once again, it's a pleasure and honor having you on the show.
Thank you so much.